Hello everyone, welcome to DC Minds. In this video, we are going to learn about another C++ 11 concept called lambda expression. So lambda expression is a function without name which is allowing us to create a anonymous function. Okay, so and it is useful where we want to pass a function as an argument. Suppose you have some algorithm or some thread which takes uh, a function as an argument. In that case you can define a lambda function and you can use at the same place the function argument is required. Okay, and you can pass this lambda function as an argument to some algorithm or some thread. So now let's see use case of this lambda expression. So suppose we have an array which has 5 elements and we want to sort this array in ascending order. For this purpose we have a standard template library function called std_sort, basically sort, that can perform the sorting operation. So you can sort this array with the help of this sort function which takes start address of this array and end address of this array. So now what it will do, it will sort the array and it will give you result back in this array itself. So now after sorting you will get the array contents in this order. Now suppose you want to sort the array in descending order. Basically first 20 should come, then 19, then 7, then 4, then 3. So for this purpose also you can use this sort function, and this sort function can take third argument also as a function. So you can pass third argument as a function. So for this purpose you can define a function like this which will perform the comparison and it will return which element is greater. Okay, so it will check whether this first element is greater or not. So now you can use this sort function and pass this compare function as the third argument. And in this case what this sort function will do, it will use this compare function and return the result in descending order. Okay, so in this case what we are doing, we are creating a function and passing to the this sort function. So if you see here, this compare function will be used only once and it is not going to be used further. So for this purpose, instead of using this defining the function separately, you can use the lambda expression and sort perform this same operation this way. So in C++11, instead of creating a function and then passing it to the this sort function, you can just create a lambda expression like this. So lambda the first two argument will be as it is and third argument will be passed as lambda expression. So here it is a uh, lambda expression which takes two argument and it will return whether it is true or false based on the comparison. Okay, so this is how lambda function looks like. Now we'll see the structure of this lambda function. So one thing to keep in mind is that lambda function is useful when wherever you want to pass the function as an argument. So instead of defining a function separately and then passing to the function which it require as an argument or to some thread, you can just create a lambda function at the same place the function takes it as an argument. Okay, so now let's see the structure of the lambda function. So the lambda function structure looks like it has six parts. The first part is called capture clause, and the second part is called parameter list, and third part is mutable specification. Fourth part is exception specification, and these are optional. And fifth part is return type, and this is also optional. If you don't mention also, it will be fine. Okay, and the sixth part is body of this lambda function. So this is how the lambda function structure is. Now we'll see what this capture clause, parameter list, and all of this means. Okay, so now let's see what is this capture clause means. Okay, So the first part is capture clause. So capture clause means how you want to capture the value which is or variable which is declared outside this lambda function. So basically it allows us to capture the value which is defined outside the lambda function, and you can specify whether you want to capture the this variable by either value or reference. Okay, and if you don't give anything inside this bracket, like here we have given equal to, if you just put it empty, that means it is not going to capture any value or variables. Okay, so let's see what do I mean by this capturing. Okay, so let's see some example. Okay, so if you capture this, if you put this ampersand symbol inside this bracket, that means all variables are captured by reference, and if you give this equal to sign inside this, it means all variables are captured by value. And one more thing, if you capture variables by reference, that time you can modify that variable, and if it is captured by value, then you cannot modify that variable inside the lambda function. Now let's see some example. So here we have three variables x, y, z, and if we if you if you capture like this, first you will give ampersand comma z. In this case, what will happen, out of these three variables, x and y will be captured by reference and z will be captured by value, because this and person means all variables are captured by reference. So, and we are explicitly mentioning that z is captured by value. Okay, so x and y are captured by reference and z is captured by value. So you cannot you can modify this x and y, but you cannot modify this z value. So if you mention like this, that's in this case what will happen, this x and y will be captured by value and z will be captured by reference. So now you can modify this z, but you cannot modify xy, and we'll see these things with examples also. And then third capture is x, we are capturing x by value and y by reference. Okay, and in third and fourth we are capturing x by reference and y by value, and we are not capturing z in this case. Now let's see a example of this capturing with proper lambda expression. Okay, so here we have a lambda expression, and it capture all x, y by reference and z by value. So one more thing to keep in mind is that this lambda expression can be assigned to a named variable. So in this case, you can assign this lambda function to a variable. So in this case, this capture demo will act as a lambda function, and you can use this capture demo as a lambda variable or lambda function wherever you want to use lambda function. So now here we have capture x and y by reference and z by value. That means if you can modify this x equal to 8 and y equal to 9, but when you say z equal to 9, at that time it will give you error. This is because z is captured by value. When we are capturing it by value, at that time the value, this z will be like a constant variable inside this lambda function, basically the body of the lambda function. Okay, now let's see some more example of this capturing. Okay, so so here we have again xyz, and we have created a named lambda function, and this is the lambda function. So here what we are doing, we are capturing x and y by value and z by reference. So in this case, if we say x equal to 8, this is a error, because if you capture by value, that time it will give you a compile. If you try to modify it, then it will give you compiler error. Same way, this will also give you compile error, because this x and y are captured by value and this z is explicitly captured by reference. So this line of code is okay. Now let's see another example. In this case, we are capturing x by reference and y by value. So this line of code is okay. This is because x is captured by reference. So we can modify this x, but you cannot modify y because it is captured by value. So this will give you error. And z is not captured here. So if you try to use this z, it will give you error if inside this body of the lambda expression. Now let's see some more example. So in this case also here we are capturing x by value and y by reference. So in this case, this will give you a compiler error because it is captured by value, and this line will is okay because it is captured by reference. So one thing to keep in mind is that if you capture by value, then at that time that variable will be a constant variable inside the body of a lambda expression. Okay. Now suppose you have x, y and z, and if you capturing first, you are saying capture all the variable by reference, and then again you are explicitly mentioning that I want to capture y by reference. So this is like a duplicate kind of thing, so this will give you error because already this ampersand symbol means all capture all the variables by reference, and then again you are mentioning it capture y by reference. That is redundant, so it is a compiler error. So this line of code is correct. So just give ampersand symbol if you want to capture all the variables by reference. Similar to that, if you are saying that you capture all the variable by value by mentioning this equal to sign, and then again you are saying capture y by value, then this will also give you a compiler error because already this equal to symbol means capture all the variables by value. So you need not you should not give this y over here. So this is a compiler error, and the correct will be this. So this means capture all the variable by value. Okay. So this is how you can access or capture the variable that is declared outside the lambda expression. Okay. So now let's see the second part of this lambda expression, that is called parameter list. Okay. So here you can pass the parameter to the lambda expression. Okay. So here I have a lambda expression whose name is sum, and then here we are passing two variables and we are performing the addition and returning the result. So in this case you can call this sum and pass two variable. So whatever the variable or parameter you want to pass, you can place inside this parenthesis. So you can pass any number of argument you want. Okay. Now let's see third part of this lambda expression, that is called mutable. So mutable means uh, basically if you capture some value, some variable by value, at that time that will be acting as a const variable inside the body of a function. So with the help of this mutable, you can modify that variable which is captured by value in the capture clause. So what do I mean by this? Let's see with example. So here we have x and y, and here what we are doing, we are capturing this x by value and y by value. So both are captured by x value. Okay. So if you perform this x equal to 8 and y equal to 9, this is a error because we are trying to modify the variable which is captured by value. Captured by value means it is constant variable inside the body of a lambda expression. So this will line of code will give you error. So now if you use this mutable specification like this, if you say capture x and y by value and then you say mutable, then at this time this will allow you to modify this x and y. Okay, this is okay, this is okay because we are telling it is mutable. Okay. So this is the use of this mutable specification in the lambda expression. Now let's see this exception specification, that is fourth part of the lambda expression. So suppose you have a situation where you don't want to allow the lambda expression to throw exception. So in that case you can say no except. So at this time if you say if you tried throwing a exception from this lambda expression, at that time it will give you some, compiler will give you some message or warning saying that it is not expected exception, but we are throwing it. Or also you can mark this function as throw if you are throwing some exception, that will give a hint to the user. If somebody is seeing the code, it will say, see, by seeing it they can assume that okay, it is going to throw some exception. Okay, so this is all about exception specification in lambda expression. Now let's see the return type. The fifth part is return type. So now in previous code we saw that we didn't mention for some we didn't mention the return type, but it was automatically deduced because lambda expression automatically deduce the return type from the expression. So here what will happen, here we have a lambda expression which takes two argument and return the sum. So in this case, here we have not mentioned the return type of this lambda expression, but by default automatically what it will do, from this expression it will deduce the return type. So there is a way you can mention the return type if you want. So in this case, suppose you want to mention its return type should be int, then you can use this access operator, this arrow symbol, and say which type of type you want it to be written, and then rest of all things are same. Okay, so this is all about return type. Now let's see the body of a lambda function which is declared inside this brace, okay, bracket. So now the body of the lambda function, that is sixth part of the lambda expression, means the function, no, it is similar to the normal function and it can access all the variables and the ordinary uh, function that other function can call. So basically the lambda expression can have access to any argument, any function that a normal ordinary function can access or contain. So now let's see what are the things this body of the lambda function can have. So it can capture all the variables, as we see previously that it can capture the variables if we want, like by value, by reference, and then you can also declare a local variable inside the body of a lambda expression. If you see here, we have declared some variable int, and it can capture the class member. Suppose you have a class member, at that time also it can capture the member of the class if you capture the this object, and it can also access the global members if we define some. Okay, now let's see some of the example for this point. Okay, so we can declare a local variable inside a lambda expression. So in this case we have a lambda expression whose name is sum, and we are creating a variable locally inside the body of this lambda expression, which is res, and then we are performing the summation and then returning it. So here it will print the value of the sum is 15 after the addition. So you can create a local variable inside a body of a lambda expression. Now you can also call a function from a lambda expression. So here we have a function called add which perform the addition of these two variable and then return the result. So now we have a lambda expression named sum, and then what it does, it is declaring a local variable and it is calling this add function. So it what it is doing, this lambda expression is calling this add function, and then this add will return the result and it will get stored in this res variable, and then it is returning this result. So in this case, this sum call will give the same result as this. So this lambda expression can also call another function. Okay, now let's see, lambda expression can also access global variable. So in this case here, this res a global variable, and this lambda function, what we are doing, we are passing two arguments. So what it will do, it will access this result and it will store the add of these two variable in this result, and then it is returning. So when you print this result of this sum and the variable value, then at that time you will get the same value after calling this function. So in this case you will get as 15, here also it will be 15. So lambda expression can also access global variables. Okay, now let's see some other use case. So lambda expression can also access the members of a class. So here we have a class called rectangle. It has two member, m length, m breadth, and its constructor takes two parameter, and we are assigning this variable with this argument, and we have a function called calculate area. In this what we are doing, we are defining a lambda expression, and we are accessing this m length, m breadth. Okay, and we are performing the area calculation. So in this case, this lambda expression is able to access this m length, m breadth, because this equal to sign means it will capture the this this object, basically this object of this class or object which will get created. So that's this is how it is able to access this members. Okay, so here when you say for means create an object and then you are calling calculate area, so at this time it will calculate the multiplication this length and breadth, and it will give you the result. Okay, now let's see what are the advantage of lambda expression. So lambda expression is basically useful whenever you want to write the code at the same place where it is required to use, like we saw in that sort function. So it sort function can take that a function as a argument in third, as a third parameter. So there, instead of creating a separate function, we what we did, we declared a separate lambda function at the same place. So next thing is that you can use this lambda expression for STL library function like for each, sort, and thread. If you want to, if it takes some argument as a function, so instead of passing function as an argument, you can pass lambda expression, because instead of defining a function separately, here you can just pass the lambda expression. Okay, so lambda expression makes the code more readable because it is defined at the same place where it is used. Okay, so now let's see one more use case of lambda expression. So what is there? We have a, suppose we have a vector which contains the marks of so many various students, and in this case what we want to do, we want to count how many students score is greater than 60. Basically the student who has scored more than 60 marks. So for that we have a STL function called for each, which can iterate over this vector and then give you the result. So this for each takes a function as an argument in third argument. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are creating a lambda expression, and it is capturing this count variable by reference, and then inside the body of this lambda expression we are checking whether this mark is greater than 60, then we are incrementing the count, and then finally we are printing. So here directly what we are doing, instead of creating a separate function, we are creating a lambda function at the same place where it is required, and we are here it takes one argument which will be passed by this for each function. So here for each function will pass each of these numbers, and we'll perform this check, and it will give you the output. So it will give output as 11, because 11 student has a score more than 60 marks. So this is one use case of this lambda expression. So always remember, lambda expression is useful to pass it as an argument to a some library, some algorithm, or some thread where it is required as a argument, where function is required as a argument. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and I have taken the reference from Microsoft document for this topic.